Henry the Green Engine had been locked up for several days for being naughty. His paint was dirty and his joints were stiff. Henry longed to be let out again. "Oh dear," he would say, "why did I worry about my paintwork?" Edward wasn't too pleased either. He missed his friend, and he knew his friend was lonely. "Don't worry," said his driver. "If you like, I could take you to see Henry after work." This made Edward feel a lot better. They arrived later that evening, much to Henry's delight. "Beep, beep," whistled Edward. "Good evening, Henry." "It's lovely to see you, Edward," started Henry. "It's been so lonely being here with only my thoughts and other engines passing." Henry's face dropped. "Well, at least now I understand the truth," he started. "What truth?" pondered Edward. "The Fat Controller's railway hasn't a place for me anymore," Henry continued. "That new express engine, for example. The Fat Controller brought him on instead of letting me out again." Edward sighed. "That new engine is quite the formidable machine. But honestly, Henry, I don't see why the Fat Controller would replace you," Edward assured. "I would know. You'll be let out soon, and you'll have your chance to prove yourself. I'm sure of it." Henry still wasn't convinced. Pondered Edward. "Tell you what. I remember a day back on my old railway when I had issues similar to yours." Henry was surprised. "You were walled up in a tunnel?" Edward chuckled. "Not really. I was locked in the shed for many months on end. I was arrogant, pompous, and conceited. Worst of all, I wouldn't have anything to do with trucks. All the other engines had had enough and told our controller. This led me to stay in the shed for many weeks on end. Only ever at night time did I have any company, and even then, it was always scolding." "What did you do?" asked Henry. "Well, I just took it. There was really nothing I could do. The other engines were right. My attitude was the reason I was here in the first place. One engine, however, took pity on me. 'Edward,' he would always say, 'I understand that you are sorry, and I'm more than willing to tell our controller that you're ready to be a useful engine. Just because you are built for express duties doesn't mean you can't take anything else. And I'm glad you understand that.' Eventually, one day I was let out." "And how did you react?" asked Henry. Edward smiled. "I went back to work and showed everyone the useful engine I could really be. I hold any train no matter what," Edward concluded. "The Fat Controller knows you're a useful engine. Like I said, you've learned your lesson, so now it's only a matter of time before you're let out and you'll be able to try again." This made Henry feel a lot better. "So there is another chance for me?" "Exactly," said Edward. "There was for me, and now there will be one for you. And I'm sure that you will be a really useful engine indeed." And with that, Henry smiled bigger than he had in weeks. "Now, I should head off home. Charlie has a family he has to go to, and the other engines will be wondering where I am." "And with that," Edward assured, "I promise you will be let out soon. And you'll have your chance to prove yourself." And at last, Edward left, leaving Henry with much to think about. But between you and me, we all know that Henry will become a really useful engine one day, don't we?